The moment the man transmigrates into another world, his sister smashes his manhood to pieces. He thinks Marco is walking over to hand him a healing potion, but it turns out to be highly concentrated acid. When his father sees this, he steps in to stop them, and while he is at it, stomps every bone in his body to dust, all because he transmigrated into the household of the Demon King. As a child, he was bullied by his siblings, and once cried to his mother about it. She told him he should retaliate like a demon. He said if he did that, they would definitely kill him. His mother chuckled coldly, and said he just needed to strike before they do. She also said that his father rose to power by killing all 12 of his own brothers to become the great Demon King. The next second, she suddenly pulls a dagger from behind her back and drives it deep into his chest, telling him that if someone wants to kill you, you must strike first, just like this. The next day, when he wakes up, he has already absorbed most of the original Caesar's 200 years of memories. He looks down at his body and finds that yesterday's fatal wounds have mostly healed. Suddenly, a shrill mocking voice rings out from beside the bed. Worthless trash, still lying there playing dead? The family banquet is about to start. If you are late, even if you drop dead on the way, do not drag me down with you. That is none other than the original host's personal maid Lingra. For 200 years, she rode on Nalia's coattails and never once showed Caesar any respect. Even the chores that were supposed to be hers got dumped onto him. The original Caesar once asked her timidly why all the other siblings' servants helped their masters get dressed, but she sneered and threw the clothes right in his face. Then how about you dress me instead? You worthless young master, you actually expect this lady to serve you? Now seeing that he is not moving, Lingra reaches out to drag him off the bed, but the instant before she touches him, a mechanical voice rings out in his mind. Ding! Host's obsession for retribution has reached the threshold. The primeval Demon Lord inheritance system is now activated, rewarding the host with the starter gift pack. Cultivation upgraded to peak Demon General rank. Skill acquired, Demon King Suppression. It triggers absolute bloodline suppression against any demon target below the host's cultivation level. The next second, he snaps his hand up and seizes Lingra's wrist. The contempt on her face freezes instantly. Fury surges in right after. She struggles desperately to pull free, but his grip is welded to her wrist, not budging an inch. Shocked and enraged, she gathers a wisp of demon energy in her other hand and swings it straight at his face. His eyes go cold. He tightens his grip just slightly, and a sharp crack echoes through the room. Her wrist bones shatter to pieces under his fingers. Lingra collapses to her knees in agony, nothing left in her eyes but sheer terror. He plants his foot on her face, his voice perfectly calm. All those years you bullied me, withheld my food, and made me do your labor. Today, that debt gets settled. Lingra trembles violently, kowtowing non-stop and begging for mercy. Young master, I was wrong. I will never do it again. Please spare me just this once. Without another word, he sends a blast of demon energy into her body, destroying all of her cultivation, and orders his subordinates to throw her into the goblin demon lair, where from now on she will breed offspring for the goblins day and night. He pushes the door open and walks out. Just as he turns the corner of the hallway, he runs into a pudgy-faced boy. It is the original host's seventh brother Darian. His mother was one of Satan's concubines, who lost all favor after Caesar's mother arrived. So from a young age, she filled Darian's head with twisted hatred, directing all her resentment onto Caesar. Darian's favorite pastime was cornering Caesar with his lackeys, beating him bloody every single time. Darian sees him and freezes for a moment, then a vicious grin spreads across his pudgy face, dripping with mockery. Well, if it is not the Demon King Palace's favorite piece of trash, Caesar, you took that much damage yesterday, and you are still not dead? His four lackeys burst out laughing around him, already gearing up to jump in for a group beating. While talking, Darian raises his hand, gathering demon energy, and lunging at Caesar's chest. But the instant his hand is about to touch Caesar's chest, Caesar sidesteps and backhands him across the face with full force. That single slap sends Darian flying 3 or 4 meters through the air. He slams hard into the solid nether rune wall, half his face swelling up like a balloon on impact, teeth flying from his mouth. The laughter dies instantly. Every lackey freezes in place, eyes wide, faces full of disbelief. Darian's eyes burn with venom and rage as he screams, "You worthless trash! You dare hit me! I will kill you!" Roaring in fury, he surges all his demon power, his peak demon master aura erupting instantly. Both fists wrapped in thick black demon energy, he throws them straight at Caesar. This is the result of 150 years of hard cultivation, which ranks him about average among the siblings. In the past, the original Caesar could not even take a single punch from him, but the man standing here now is no longer that weakling. His figure flickers, and he appears behind Darian like a ghost. And before Darian can even react, he kicks him savagely in both knees. 2 sharp cracks ring out in quick succession. Both of Darian's leg bones snap clean. He lets out a blood-curdling scream and drops to his knees before Caesar. Caesar grabs him by the hair, forces his face up to meet his gaze, and speaks in a voice cold as death. "All those times you cornered me with your pack and humiliated me, did you ever think this day would come?" Darian is nearly blacking out from the pain, yet he still talks tough, swearing his father and Nalia will skin Caesar alive. Caesar lets out a cold laugh, raises his hand, and delivers 2 more slaps to the other side of Darian's face, knocking out every last tooth. He lets go, and Darian collapses to the ground like a pile of mud, completely completely passed out from the pain. The 4 lackeys are scared out of their minds, all dropping to their knees and begging for mercy. Caesar sweeps his icy gaze over them. A bunch of ants are not worth my effort. Take your master and exile him somewhere far away. With a face like that, he will fit right in. Then he turns and walks toward the dining hall without looking back. But as he passes the steward's office, he catches something off. The demon wood door blocks most sounds, but peak demon general senses still pick up the faint hum of a communication crystal. He presses his ear to the door and finally makes out the conversation inside. Rest assured, your holiness, I will never let him awaken his bloodline, or the plan we laid all those years ago will be ruined. I have already arranged everything. At the banquet, I will provoke the first, second, and third highnesses into attacking him together. Even if he has had some lucky encounter, he cannot possibly withstand all 3 of them at once. That will put an end to Elaine's last shred of hope. Elaine? His heart jolts. What plan? And why does it involve my mother, Elaine? He darts away in an instant, hiding in the shadow of a hallway pillar. The next second, the office door swings open and the steward strides out, scanning left and right before heading toward the dining hall. In the Demon King Palace, he normally only displays mid-tier demon general cultivation. But as he moves briskly now, Caesar clearly senses the aura hidden inside him, peak demon martial level power. He has been hiding a full 2 major realms of cultivation. The instant the steward is about to pass the pillar, Caesar flashes behind him, concentrates all his demon energy into his palm, and clamps his throat like an iron vice. At the same time, his other hand forms a ball of ultra-compressed demon energy, and seals every energy channel in the man's body. The primeval bloodline pressure from the primeval demon lord erupts in an instant, even with peak demon martial cultivation hidden inside him, under the most primal bloodline suppression of the demon race. His demon body goes rigid instantly. His demon energy flow grinds nearly to a halt, and he cannot muster even a shred of resistance. The steward never in his wildest dreams imagined that, after hiding for 200 years, he would be taken down in a single move by the trash everyone used to bully. Forcing himself to stay calm, he demands, "What do you think you are doing? I am the steward personally appointed by His Majesty the Demon King. If you lay a hand on me, His Majesty will not let you off." Caesar lets out a cold scoff. Whether His Majesty lets you off, I do not know, but what I do know is that spying for the pontiff of the divine race and betraying the demon realm makes you the first one His Majesty will not spare. The steward's face turns white as a sheet in an instant. He cannot fathom how his airtight cover has been blown on the spot by this so-called trash. He desperately tries to burn his spirit essence to escape, but Caesar gives him no chance. With a slight squeeze, a sharp crack rings out as his throat is crushed. At the same time, a blast of concentrated demon energy tears through his body along every energy channel, ripping his spirit essence to shreds without leaving even a chance at reincarnation. Ding! Host has successfully eliminated a divine spy embedded within the demon race. Reward 1000 demon cores. Skill acquired, Eye of Revelation. The moment the system notification fades, a cool energy flows into both of his eyes, and the world before him transforms in an instant. He can clearly see the trails of demon energy flowing through the air, and even faintly make out the cultivation currents and restriction seals inside living beings. Looking down at the steward's corpse, the Eye of Revelation immediately pierces through the residual divine restrictions inside his body, and reveals a hidden chamber concealed behind the office wall. He turns and walks into the office, opens the chamber following the Eye of Revelation's guidance, and inside, just as expected, lies all of the stewards' communication records with the divine race, along with a thick ledger packed with names, listing every divine informant inside the Demon King Palace who was in contact with him, 37 in total. So for these past 200 years, the Demon King Palace has long been infiltrated by the divine race's intelligence network. Using the steward's position, they incited infighting among the royal family, monitored his father's every move, and aimed every attack squarely at him, Elaine's son. He picks up the ledger, his fingertips brushing across the name Elaine, the questions in his heart growing deeper. Who exactly is his mother? Why would the pontiff of the divine race go so far as to plant such an enormous web inside the Demon King Palace, all to ensure his death? For 200 years everyone cursed her as a traitor who betrayed the demon race. Yet when this divine spy spoke of her, his voice was drenched in bone-deep fear. Could that dagger she once drove into his chest, and those ice-cold words, "strike first," be hiding a truth that neither he nor the original Caesar ever knew? Countless questions flood his mind, but he knows now is not the time to dig deeper. The family banquet is about to begin. He casually stores the communication crystal and the ledger into his system space, then burns every last trace in the chamber with demon flame and walks out of the office. The Eye of Revelation sweeps across the hallway, and he clearly spots that several of the patrolling guards carry divine restriction seals identical to the stewards. Every one of them is an informant on the list. He does not make a move yet. At just peak demon general cultivation, even with Demon King suppression and the newly unlocked Eye of Revelation, he cannot pull out every nail at once without alerting the bigger fish lurking in the shadows. Besides, there's a grand show waiting for him in the dining hall just ahead. A cold smile curls at the corner of his lips. He lifts his foot and walks toward the dining hall. That was just an appetizer. The real reckoning has only just begun. Inside the dining hall, taunts and insults fly his way. That trash probably does not dare to show up, right? After taking that much damage yesterday, even if he's not dead, he will be bedridden for at least a year. I bet he is just hiding. Coming here only means more insults and probably another beating, so why bother? A piece of trash who cannot even cultivate demon power is just wasting our race's resources by staying alive. If His Majesty had not kept him around, I would have thrown him to the abyssal dark dragons long ago. He raises his hand and pushes open the heavy doors. The laughter inside dies instantly. Every pair of eyes snaps onto to him. First comes shock, then undisguised mockery and malice. Every single one of them immediately activates their demon power to probe his cultivation. But the primeval demon energy inside him perfectly masks every trace of his aura. All they sense is the same old, zero magic power trash tier reading as always. After a brief silence, Vera is the first to speak. Her voice drips with contempt. The trash can actually crawl out of bed. I thought you had already died and rotted away in your room. Looks like you relied on some pathetic life-saving trinket. Then again, you were born from that traitor woman, so of course she left you something shady. The traitor woman she speaks of is his mother, Elaine. It is the go-to insult everyone in the Demon King Palace uses against him. In the original host's memories, every time he heard those words, a deep, bone-level shame and pain would wash over him. But today, all that comes to mind is the steward's message. Put an end to Elaine's last shred of hope. The doubt in his heart deepens. Another layer. Marco joins in with a laugh, toying with a crystal vial in his hand. It still holds half a bottle of highly concentrated corrosive demon acid. His eyes are vicious. Looks like my acid was not strong enough. It did not even melt that face of yours. The rest of the siblings burst out laughing along with him. The great demon king Satan sits at the head of the table, watching with cold eyes, showing no intention of stopping any of it. Caesar is not the least bit surprised. In the original host's memories, his father was always like this, watching with cold indifference as every sibling bullied and humiliated him. And just yesterday, he personally crushed every bone in Caesar's body. In Caesar's eyes, he is nothing but a cold-blooded, heartless father. He walks slowly to the table and stops right in front of Vera, his eyes perfectly still, his voice calm yet laced with bone-chilling frost. Yesterday, you ran a sword through my heart. Today, that debt gets paid. Vera hears this and reacts as if she has just heard the joke of the century. You, a worthless piece of trash trying to get revenge on me? I think that stab yesterday went through your brain and made you lose your mind. As she speaks, she draws the sword at her waist and thrusts it straight at his chest once again. But the instant the blade is about to reach his chest, he raises his hand and catches the razor-sharp tip between two fingers. Time seems to freeze in that moment. The smile on Vera's face locks in place. She pushes with everything she has, but the blade does not budge. Vera screams with a twisted expression, "You worthless trash! How can you possibly catch my sword? What kind of dirty trick are you using?" He applies just a bit more pressure with his fingers, and with a sharp snap, the demon sword forged from adamantine breaks in half between his two fingers, gripping the broken blade tip. He swings it back and slashes across her shoulder. Vera lets out a piercing scream and stumbles backward, her eyes now filled with venom and a barely perceptible trace of fear. "You dare wound me? I will kill you!" she roars, surging all her demon power. Her peak demon martial aura erupts in an instant, sending the demon energy throughout the entire hall into a frenzy. Cracks spider across the floor. Among all the siblings, she ranks second only to Marco at the very top. The rest of the siblings watch with great interest, waiting to see Caesar torn apart by a raging Vera. In their eyes, his catching that sword and wounding Vera just now was nothing more than a sneak attack aided by some treasure. There's no way he can be a match for Vera at peak demon martial, but he stands his ground, not a shred of fear on his face. Ding! Detected lethal threat to the host. Primeval Demon King physique passive triggered. Same realm damage reduction increased to 80%. Demon power amplified threefold. Fourth layer of the primeval bloodline seal has been broken. Vera's fists wrap in world-shattering demon energy and come crashing down on him. She throws everything into this punch, clearly intending to kill him once and for all. He does not dodge. He throws a punch of his own, and ultra-refined primeval demon energy forms a black shockwave around his fist. The two forces collide head-on. A black shockwave blasts outward, reducing every table and chair nearby to dust. Several siblings standing too close are thrown stumbling backward by the blast. Vera is sent hurtling through the air, slamming hard into the nether-rune wall of the dining hall. A mouthful of black demon blood sprays from her lips, staining the front of her robes crimson. Every demon channel in her right arm shatters completely. The arm is finished. Ding! Host has successfully punished Vera. Core dominance established. Reward, cultivation upgraded to peak demon martial. Skill acquired, void step proficient level. The entire dining hall falls deathly silent. Every pair of eyes goes wide. The trash they were just mocking a moment ago has crippled peak demon martial Vera with a single punch. How is that possible? Even Satan at the head of the table straightens up slightly, a flicker of something. No one else notices passing through his deep-set eyes. Before anyone can recover from the shock, Nelia shoots to her feet. She is Vera's sister by the same mother and has never held back from bullying Caesar either. She draws the whip from her waist and points it at him, her face livid with rage. "Caesar, you worthless trash. How dare you hurt Vera? You must be tired of living." She channels her mid-tier demon martial cultivation, wrapping the whip in corrosive demon energy, and lashes it straight at his face. His eyes go cold. The newly unlocked void step activates instantly. His figure flickers and he appears right in front of her. He reaches out and catches the tip of the whip. Nelia's face changes instantly. She pulls desperately, but the whip does not move an inch in his grip. "Did you think I had no idea Linger was hiding behind your power all this time?" He lets out a cold laugh. A surge of demon energy travels along the whip and shatters her core on impact. "You helped her bully me plenty of times. That debt gets settled today too." Nelia lets out a piercing scream, her demon power collapsing entirely. She cannot believe that her mid-tier demon martial cultivation could not even withstand a single move from him. Ding! Host has successfully punished Nelia. Informant backer eliminated. Reward, 500 demon cores. Void step proficiency increased. Marco slams his palm on the table, rising to his feet. eyes brimming with venom and fury. He is Satan's firstborn and has always been the most favored, treating Caesar as a thorn in his side all along, wishing he could get rid of him once and for all. He glares at Caesar and snarls through clenched teeth, "You worthless trash. Today I will teach you to know your place." He pulls out a crystal vial, and inside is the same highly concentrated corrosive demon acid he used on Caesar yesterday. This acid is so potent that even a single drop on the solid nether rune floor eats through it instantly, leaving a deep pit. The surrounding siblings instinctively back away, terrified of being splashed, but their faces settle back into the look of spectators enjoying a show. In their view, even if Caesar can beat Vera and Nalia, he cannot possibly withstand this unstoppable acid. Marco uncorks the vial and hurls the entire bottle of acid straight at Caesar's face. But the instant the acid is about to touch his skin, he activates Void Step once more. His figure vanishes from the spot in an instant. Before Marco can react, Caesar has already appeared behind him. He grabs Marco's jaw, forces his mouth open, and pours every last drop of the remaining acid down his throat. The concentrated acid flows down his throat, dissolving everything in its path. Within just seconds, he collapses to the ground, convulsing, his body corroding at a visible rate until all signs of life are gone. Even his spirit essence is burned clean by the acid. Ding! Host has successfully counter-killed Marco. First kinslaying dominance achieved. Reward: 1 Demon Bane Blade. Skill acquired: Infernal Sky Blaze beginner level. 5th layer of the Primeval Bloodline seal has been broken. Cultivation upgraded to beginner Demon King rank. The dining hall erupts into total chaos. Every sibling shoots to their feet in terror, their eyes flooded with overwhelming fear. They cannot believe that the one they bullied and beat at will, the trash who never even dared to raise his voice, has now crippled Vera and Nalia back to back and killed Marco with his own hands. Is this really the same worthless Caesar they have known for 200 years? Shaking from head to toe, they turn to run. But right then, Satan slams his hand on the table from the head seat. The entire hall shakes like an earthquake, and a tidal wave of peak Demon King pressure crashes down on Caesar. Several of the weaker siblings are crushed to their knees by the pressure alone, trembling all over, unable to even lift their heads. "Insolent," Satan's voice booms with boundless fury. "Who gave you the nerve to kill someone in front of me at a family banquet?" That devastating pressure locks onto Caesar, and every bone in his body creaks under the strain. But he keeps his spine straight, lifts his head to meet Satan's gaze, and shows not a trace of fear. "The law of the Demon King's house is the strong devour the weak. Is that not the rule you taught us since childhood? You killed 12 of your own brothers to claim the throne of the great Demon King. I killed one worthless brother who wanted me dead. What is the problem?" Satan's face turns iron dark at these words. Black demon energy gathers behind him and forms a massive abyssal battle axe. "You truly are my blood. Since you understand survival of the fittest so well, let me see if you can take one strike from me. If you cannot, you will be buried here alongside Marco today." Before his words even fade, the demon energy axe in his hand descends with world-ending force, cleaving straight down at Caesar. The pressure warps the very space around them. Caesar even feels as though his spirit essence will be split apart by this single swing. He grips the newly acquired Demon Bane blade tight, channels the primeval Demon King physique, and pushes his primeval demon energy to its absolute limit. Ding! Skill triggered, Infernal Sky Blaze. Black demon flames engulf the Demon Bane blade instantly, tripling the weapon's power. He charges headlong into the descending axe and swings the blade with everything he has. Blade meets axe, and a black shockwave explodes outward. The walls of the dining hall collapse. The entire great hall shakes violently. Enormous fissures tear across the floor. Caesar stands his ground, not budging an inch, though fine cracks web out beneath his feet across the nether rune floor. Satan, meanwhile, rides the recoil, and is forced back 3 full steps before he steadies himself. The skin between his thumb and forefinger splits open. The entire Demon King palace falls deathly silent. Every sibling present stands frozen in place, forgetting to breathe. They cannot believe that Caesar just took a full power strike from the great Demon King Satan, and even pushed Satan back 3 steps. This is the supreme ruler of the demon realm, Satan at the peak of Demon King rank. Across the entire divine demon continent, fewer than 5 beings can take a single blow from him, and Caesar just did it. In this moment, every gaze fixed on him holds nothing but awe. Satan stares at him, his eyes filled with shock, and speaks slowly, his voice carrying across the entire hall. "You actually broke through the radiant curse and awakened your bloodline?" Caesar's mind jolts. The radiant curse? What is that? A cold smile tugs at the corner of his lips, and just as he is about to speak, a deep, booming laugh from an aged voice echoes in from beyond the doors. "Ha ha ha! Now that is worthy of a demon heir." Everyone turns toward the voice. Not a wisp of demon energy leaks from his body, yet even Satan at peak Demon King rank instantly retracts all of his pressure the moment he sees him, and bows respectfully. "Greetings, Grand Elder." Caesar activates the Eye of Revelation immediately. Ding! Target identified. Grand Elder of the Demon Race, Thorn. Cultivation, half-step demon god. No hostile intent toward the host. Fully aware of the plan and the host's origins, he is the most trusted ally of Holy Woman Elaine. Holy Woman Elaine? A storm erupts in Caesar's mind. His mother was supposed to be a traitor of the divine race. How can the Grand Elder of the demons call her a holy woman? Grand Elder Thorn walks straight up to Caesar, looks him up and down, his eyes shining with undisguised admiration and excitement, his hands even trembling slightly. "Incredible, boy. You actually broke the seal and awakened the primeval Demon King bloodline. For over 10,000 years, our demon race has finally produced another heir of the primeval bloodline. The moment those words leave his lips, the entire hall erupts in commotion. Every pair of eyes goes wide with disbelief, and the gazes fixed on Caesar now hold not just fear and awe but a flash of fervent reverence. The primeval bloodline is the most supreme bloodline of the entire demon race. Legend says that only one who awakens the primeval bloodline can lead the demon race back to glory, and even unite both the divine and demon realms. Even Satan gazes at Caesar with a complicated expression and murmurs, "Elaine was right, you truly are the heir of the primeval bloodline." The Grand Elder lets out a cold scoff, turns to Satan, his tone carrying undisguised displeasure. "Satan, you are the great demon king, yet you played along with this charade for 200 years, watching your own son be humiliated for 2 full centuries. If he were not tough enough to survive, and had not broken the seal as planned, he would have died long ago under your so-called protection. Can you face holy woman Elaine after what you have done?" Satan lowers his head without a word of protest, only a flash of guilt crossing his eyes. Only then does it hit Caesar like a bolt of lightning, rooting him to the spot. An act? Protection? 200 years of cold indifference, yesterday's stomp that crushed every bone in his body. All of it was an act? The Grand Elder turns back to Caesar. "Come with me, boy. I will take you to the demon-sealed domain, to awaken the full primeval bloodline. Your mother feared that if your bloodline awakened too soon, the divine race would target you and bring a death sentence upon you. So she sealed your bloodline despite the pain it caused her, making you endure 200 years of suffering. Everything she did for you, it is time you knew the truth." Caesar's entire body trembles at these words. This is the question that has been buried in his heart ever since he merged with the original host's memories. The original Caesar believed until his dying breath that his mother, when he was just 5 years old, had stabbed him with the intent to kill. Yet over these 200 years, every time he was on the brink of death, a warm power would surge from within his body and pull him back from the edge. There is indeed a truth behind all of this that he never knew. The Grand Elder leads Caesar out of the dining hall. Outside, a Netherbone war chariot drawn by 4 abyssal dark dragons is already waiting. Each abyssal dark dragon possesses beginner demon king level cultivation. In the entire demon realm, only the Grand Elder commands such a display. They board the chariot, and the 4 demon dragons let out a deafening roar, launch into the sky, and soar toward the demon-sealed domain. Inside the chariot, only Caesar and Grand Elder Thorn remain. Thorn looks at him, lets out a slow sigh, and begins, "Boy, have you always wondered why your mother stabbed you with her own hand that day?" Caesar nods, his eyes full of searching. This was the knot the original host could never untie in 200 years, even as a transmigrator. Because of those 200 years of memories, Caesar holds deeply conflicted feelings toward the mother who exists only in his recollections. Your mother, holy woman Elaine, was the divine race's once-in-a-millennium holy woman of light, a direct descendant of the god of origins. She was sent to infiltrate the demon realm on orders from the pontiff. The Grand Elder's voice is soft. Her mission was to assassinate Satan, dismantle the core power of the demon realm, and clear the way for the divine race to crush the demons in one stroke, and unify all of creation. But what she never expected was that she would fall in love with Satan, and give birth to you. Caesar clenches his fists. He can imagine what an impossible position Elaine found herself in. On one side, the divine race that raised her and placed all their hopes in her, and on the other, the man she loved with all her heart, and her newborn child. The divine race soon discovered her betrayal. The pontiff personally issued her a death order. A flash of anger crosses the Grand Elder's eyes. The pontiff ordered her to plant the radiant curse inside you. Once you grew up, the curse would detonate completely, turning the entire demon realm to scorched earth. If she refused, the divine race would immediately trigger the restriction on her body, killing both her and her newborn child, and would even launch an all-out war between the divine and demon races, bringing devastation to countless lives. And that dagger she used on you back then, it was never meant to kill you, it was to save you. Deep admiration flashes in the Grand Elder's eyes. She channeled her entire lifetime of divine light power through that single stab to seal the radiant curse inside you, and at the same time temporarily seal your primeval demon king bloodline. She knew that if your primeval bloodline awakened too early, the pontiff would stop at nothing to kill you before you could grow strong. After she drove that blade into you, she sacrificed 99% of her spirit essence to completely neutralize the restriction the pontiff had placed on her, trading her near total annihilation for a chance for you to grow up safely. She announced to the outside world that she had died of illness, all to prevent the divine race from suspecting she had already broken the curse. The last fragment of her core spirit essence remained sealed inside your core origin seal. Every time you came close to death over these 200 years, it was her spirit essence fighting with everything it had to protect you, only by completely destroying the Cathedral of Radiance, slaying the pontiff, and breaking every divine restriction. Can her spirit essence be awakened, and her divine body restored through your combined divine demon power? Caesar's whole body shudders. The original host believed until his death that his mother never loved him, even hated him, yet behind that single stab lay the last protection a mother could ever give her child. She gave up everything to pave a path of survival for him, and shielded him for 200 years. Ding! Detected that the host has learned the full truth of his mother's past. Hidden main quest triggered. Avenge mother. Objective: destroy the Cathedral of Radiance of the divine race. Slay the pontiff of the divine race. Break all divine restrictions. Quest reward: unlock mother's spirit essence seal, a assist in restoring her divine body, and break through to high-tier demon god rank. Caesar lifts his head and gazes toward the divine realm, his eyes turning steel-hard in an instant. The demon energy around him surges and churns. The divine race, the cathedral of radiance, the pontiff, this blood debt will be repaid in full, with interest. The Grand Elder watches him and nods with satisfaction. Your mother's sacrifice was not in vain, but right now, you are still no match for the pontiff. The pontiff of the cathedral of radiance has already reached half-step divine sovereign cultivation. His 12 radiant knights are every one of them demon god level powerhouses. Not to mention the cathedral of radiance commands a massive divine army, and ancient divine battle formations passed down through the ages. Only by awakening the full primeval bloodline and receiving the complete demon race inheritance will you have the power to stand against the divine race. As he speaks, the Netherbone war chariot has already arrived above the demon-sealed domain. This is the holiest ground of the entire demon race. Apart from the Grand Elder and the great demon kings of each generation, no one is allowed to set foot here. The chariot descends slowly. The Grand Elder leads Caesar to the altar, his tone deeply solemn. Long ago, our ancestor, the primeval demon lord, broke through to divine sovereign rank right here, unified the entire demon realm, and stood as an equal to the god of origins of the divine race. Today, you will awaken the ancestral inheritance and unlock the full primeval bloodline right here. Caesar gazes at the massive altar before him, feeling a deep resonance thrumming from within his very blood, and every drop of blood in his body begins to boil beyond his control. The Grand Elder raises his hand and casts several intricate ancient nether runes, channeling them into the altar. The entire altar ignites in an instant. Black demon energy erupts skyward, forming a colossal vortex of demon energy that bridges heaven and earth. Every demon across the entire demon realm feels a tremor deep within their bloodline at this moment and bows involuntarily toward the sealed domain. Step up. The Grand Elder looks at Caesar, his tone solemn. Stand in the center of the altar and use your core origin blood to awaken the ancestral inheritance. Remember, no matter what happens in there, hold true to who you are. Without a moment's hesitation, Caesar leaps onto the center of the altar. He slices his fingertip with the demon bane blade, and a single drop of core origin blood, shimmering with a golden gleam, falls onto the nether rune at the altar's heart. The instant the blood lands, the entire altar erupts in blinding black gold light. Countless ancient nether runes ignite at once, surging wildly through the soles of his feet and flooding into his body. A power so immense it defies imagination, sweeps through every fiber of his being in an instant. His bones, energy channels, flesh, even his spirit essence, are all being continuously washed, remolded, and strengthened by primeval demon energy. His cultivation begins to skyrocket at this very moment. Beginner Demon King, Mid-tier Demon King, High-tier Demon King, Peak Demon King, Half-step Demon God, Beginner Demon God, Mid-tier Demon God, High-tier Demon God. Only after breaking through to High-tier Demon God does the surge finally slow to a halt, and his consciousness is pulled at that same moment into a boundless dark void. At the far edge of the darkness, an impossibly towering black figure slowly turns to face him. His features are indistinct, endless demon energy swirling around him. Just by standing there, he seems to bear the weight of the entire demon realm. Caesar understands instantly, this is the ancestor of the demon race. I have been waiting for you at last, my remnant soul. The primeval demon lord's voice fills the entire space, carrying no pressure at all, only a hint of relief. 10,000 years ago, the god of origins and I joined forces to fight the void abyss forces from beyond the myriad realms. We were both left gravely wounded, my spirit essence shattered and scattered across the myriad realms. While the god of origins fell into a deep slumber, the pontiff, that pathetic clown, merely seized the opportunity of the god of origins slumber to usurp control of the divine race and satisfy his ambition of ruling both realms. The radiant curse was never the pontiff's creation. It was a contingency left behind by the void abyss forces to suppress my future heir. Only when my core remnant soul merges with the direct bloodline of the god of origins, meaning the fusion of your blood and Elaine's, can this curse be completely broken, and the full inheritance awakened. What Elaine's revelation of destiny foresaw was not the future. It was the pact that the god of origins and I made long ago. Everything she did for you was part of that plan. As the primeval demon lord speaks, he raises a finger, and a beam of black gold light surges into the center of Caesar's forehead. Countless streams of information flood into his mind like a tidal wave. Ancient cultivation techniques, combat arts, restrictions, and battle formations, along with the memories of the Great War against the Void Abyss forces 10,000 years ago and the Primeval Demon Lord's lifetime of cultivation insights. This is the complete inheritance of the Primeval Demon Lord. Remember, your journey has never been about just the divine and demon realms. The Primeval Demon Lord's voice grows distant. The Void Abyss forces will descend once more, and every realm across the myriad realms will be plunged into crisis. You must grow strong as fast as you can, rally the forces of all realms, and defend this world. My heir, go and fulfill the mission that awaits you. The dark void shatters in an instant, and his consciousness returns to the altar. The demon energy swirling around him retracts at once, Every demon in the entire demon realm feels this absolute pressure rising from the depths of their bloodline. They drop to their knees one after another, bowing devoutly toward the demon-sealed domain. Even Satan in the Demon King Palace involuntarily bends at the waist, staring toward the sealed domain, his face filled with shock. He knows that from this moment on, the demon realm will never be the same. Ding! Congratulations, host. Full primeval bloodline awakened. Skill acquired. Convergence of 10,000 demons. Caesar leaps off the altar in one bound. The Grand Elder looks at him, so overcome with emotion that tears stream down his aged face. He drops to his knees with a heavy thud and performs the highest rite of worship in all of demonkind. Grand Elder Molan of the demon race welcomes the young lord. Welcome back, primeval ancestor. Caesar raises his hand, and a gentle wave of demonic energy lifts the Grand Elder to his feet. His voice is calm, yet carries an undeniable authority. No need for such formality, Grand Elder. From now on, I will lead the demon race back to its peak and guard our kind for 10,000 generations. Just then, the system's urgent alarm blares inside his mind. Ding! Warning! Warning! A massive divine army has been detected invading the demon realm border. 12 radiant knights lead the charge. 3 border defense lines have already fallen. Target: the demon sealed domain. The enemy has used holy light to block all border early warning systems. Upon sensing the primeval bloodlines awakening, the divine demon coexistence seal has collapsed. Their intent: strike before the host fully masters the inherited power, and eliminate him once and for all. Caesar's gaze turns ice cold in an instant. The divine race? Perfect timing. I was just about to come settle the score, and here you are, delivering yourselves to my doorstep. The Grand Elder's expression changes drastically, his aura erupting in full force. This is bad. The divine race must have sensed the primeval bloodlines awakening and the seal's collapse. That is the only reason they would dare launch a full invasion. Young lord, we must return to the Demon King Palace at once and rally the army. A cold smile curls at the corner of Caesar's lips. He waves his hand dismissively. No need. A mere 12 radiant knights and a few million divine soldiers are not worth my retreat. Since they have come, they should not expect to leave. Before the words even fade, Caesar vanishes in a flash and reappears high above the sealed domain. His gaze locks onto the direction of the demon realm border, where countless streaks of golden holy light are closing in at blinding speed, sweeping forward like a golden tidal wave. At the front, 12 figures each radiate terrifying pressure at the demon god rank. They are the 12 radiant knights of the divine race. Behind them march millions of divine soldiers, blotting out the sky and covering the earth. Stretching beyond the horizon, golden holy light stains half the sky a brilliant gold. The demon border garrison is already in full retreat, all 3 defense lines shattered. Countless demon soldiers lie dead beneath the holy light, their screams echoing across heaven and earth. Caesar's eyes are frigid. Primeval demonic energy surges violently around his body. Ding! Skill triggered. Convergence of 10,000 demons. With a single thought, every drop of demonic energy across the entire demon realm answers his command and surges toward him in a frenzy. The sky goes dark in an instant. Boundless black demonic clouds blot out the sun, and countless spectral demon figures emerge within the clouds, bowing in reverence toward Caesar. The entire world is saturated with the absolute pressure of his primeval bloodline. The invading divine army feels this terrifying pressure instantly. Their faces change one after another. They stop dead in their tracks, terror written across every face. The captain of the Radiant Knights grips his radiant holy sword, clad head to toe in golden armor. He bellows, "What demon filth dares cause trouble here? Show yourself and face your death, or I will obliterate your spirit essence where you stand." Caesar vanishes and reappears above the divine army in a flash, looking down at them with bone-chilling coldness. His voice rings across the entire battlefield. "The one who will kill you all." The 12 Radiant Knights see him and freeze for a moment, then break into contemptuous smiles. The captain looks him up and down and sneers. "I thought it would be someone important. Turns out it is just a young whelp. You look no more than 200 years old. Even if you started cultivating from the womb, how strong could you possibly be? You dare spout such arrogance? You must have a death wish." The divine soldiers behind him burst into mocking laughter. "Has the demon race run out of fighters? They actually sent a child to die? Run back to your mother's arms before there is nothing left of you, not even bones." At that age, even with a bit of bloodline power, how strong can he be? The captain can cut him in half with a single strike. A cold smile crosses Caesar's lips. His voice is calm. "Many people said the exact same thing yesterday. Do you know what happened to them?" The captain asks coldly. "What happened?" Caesar's gaze sharpens. Demonic energy explodes from his body. "They are all dead." Before the words even settle, he unleashes infernal sky blaze. Boundless black primeval demon flames pour down from the heavens in an instant, crashing toward the divine army like a tidal wave. These are primeval demon flames, the most dominating fire in existence. Nothing survives them, nothing withstands them. They are the ultimate bane of divine holy light. Wherever the flames pass, golden holy light is devoured and annihilated. Countless divine soldiers do not even have time to scream before being burned to ash, their spirit essences included. In just one instant, hundreds of thousands of divine soldiers are reduced to dust, without a single trace left behind. The entire divine army falls into chaos. Soldiers turn and flee in terror, their formation collapsing in an instant. The 12 Radiant Knights' expressions shift drastically, their faces turning ashen, their eyes blaze with fury. "Insolent wretch! How dare you harm our divine army? Your life is forfeit!" The captain roars in rage, and is the first to summon his radiant holy sword. The other 11 Radiant Knights simultaneously summon their radiant holy weapons and charge at Caesar. 12 demon god rank warriors strike at once. Golden holy light merges into a colossal 12-star holy sword sword, carrying enough force to rend the heavens and shatter the earth, and cleaves straight down at Caesar. This is their ultimate killing formation, the 12-star divine formation. Even a half-step divine sovereign would not dare take this head-on. Caesar grips the demon-bane blade tightly, channels every ounce of primeval demonic energy in his body, along with the power of the primeval demon lord's legacy, and swings one devastating slash to meet the holy sword. Ding! Primeval demon lord legacy skill triggered. Primeval rend. A streak of black gold blade light tears across the sky in an instant, as though it could split space itself apart, and collides head-on with the golden 12-star holy sword. Boom. A deafening explosion shakes heaven and earth. The entire demon realm border trembles violently. The golden holy sword shatters to pieces under the blade light. All 12 radiant knights spit out mouthfuls of golden blood and are sent flying backward like broken kites, slamming hard into the ground. Every one of their radiant holy weapons is now covered in dense spreading cracks. Each of them is gravely wounded. The way they look at Caesar is filled with disbelief and absolute terror. How is this possible? How can you possess such overwhelming power? Who are you? The captain clutches his chest and screams in horror. Caesar descends slowly before them, eyes cold as ice, his voice dripping with endless menace. I am Caesar, the holy maiden Elaine, the one you killed all those years ago. She was my mother. The pupils of all 12 radiant knights contract instantly. Shock and disbelief flood their faces. You are that traitor's spawn? The pontiff's failure to root you out back then was the greatest mistake, but today you have walked right into our hands. Do not expect to leave alive. The captain's face twists into something savage. He forces himself to his feet and ignites his own divine core. His aura skyrockets in an instant, breaking straight through to half-step divine sovereign. The other 11 radiant knights also ignite their divine cores simultaneously and pour every last drop of their power into the captain's body. In an instant, the captain's aura surges to early stage divine sovereign, and the very fabric of space begins to warp under his pressure. Gripping his shattered radiant holy sword, he charges at Caesar with the force of a mutual destruction strike, howling, "Die, boy! Even if it kills me, I will drag you down with me." Ding! Godslaying trigger detected. System reward Godslaying force activated. All damage against divine targets amplified 100-fold. Divine demon unity passive triggered. Divine and demonic powers fully merged. Cultivation temporarily breaks through to early stage divine sovereign. A surge of power unlike anything before floods Caesar's entire body. He raises his hand and catches the incoming radiant holy sword with his bare palm. The razor-sharp tip presses against his chest, less than 1 centimeter from his heart. But no matter how desperately the captain channels his power, the holy sword cannot advance even a fraction further. As if blocked by an immovable mountain, the captain's face is pure disbelief. His eyes nearly bulge from their sockets. He shrieks, "Impossible! I have divine sovereign level power. How can I not even scratch you? This cannot be." A cold smirk crosses Caesar's lips. He tightens his grip ever so slightly. Crack! The radiant holy sword crumbles to pieces in his hand. Then he throws a single punch, smashing it into the captain's chest. Boom! The captain's divine body is blown apart by that single blow. Even his burning divine core is crushed in Caesar's grip, and not a shred of spirit essence escapes. Ding Host has successfully slain a divine sovereign level target. Reward: cultivation breaks through to half-step divine sovereign. Reward: skill, divine demon unity perfected. The remaining 11 radiant knights watch their captain obliterated by a single punch. Their souls nearly leave their bodies. They spin around to flee, but how could they possibly escape? Caesar casually launches 11 streaks of primeval demon flame that overtake them in an instant, engulfing each one of them. Amid piercing screams, the 11 radiant knights, along with their divine cores and spirit essences, are all burned to ash by the flames, without a single trace left behind. Ding Host has successfully slain all 12 radiant knights. Reward: 1 million divine crystals. Reward: divine demon legion summoning access. The remaining millions of divine soldiers watch all 12 radiant knights fall and completely collapse in terror. They throw down their weapons and armor, turn, and sprint toward the divine realm, wailing and screaming, every last shred of their earlier arrogance gone. Caesar's eyes are cold. There is not an ounce of mercy in them. When they followed the pontiff and drove his mother to her death, they should have foreseen this day. He raises his hand and activates convergence of 10,000 demons. Boundless demonic energy forms a massive black barrier. That seals off every escape route for the divine army. Infernal sky blaze fires once more. Black demon flames sweep across the entire battlefield like a tsunami. Not a single one of the millions of divine soldiers escapes. All are burned to ash, without even a chance of reincarnation. Ding! Host has successfully annihilated the invading divine army. Reward: full sovereignty over the demon realm. Reward: detailed coordinate map of the divine realm. Caesar stands high above the battlefield, gazing down at the now cleansed demon realm border as the demonic energy around him slowly recedes. The demon armies that rushed here from across the realm to provide reinforcements see the scene before them, and are stunned speechless. Then, one by one, they drop to their knees. A thunderous roar shakes heaven and earth, echoing across the entire demon realm. Hail the young lord! The young lord is supreme! The young lord is invincible! Glory to the demon race! face. Caesar slowly turns and looks toward the Demon King Palace, a cold smile forming on his lips. The border crisis is settled. Now it is time to return to the Demon King Palace and settle all accounts. Claim the throne. Marshal the armies. Crush the divine realm. Caesar vanishes from the border battlefield in a flash. When he reappears, he is already standing inside the great hall of the Demon King Palace. Satan sits on the main throne, anxiously awaiting news from the border. The moment Caesar appears, Satan springs to his feet, his eyes filled with urgency and shock. Caesar, what happened at the border? The 12 radiant knights and the divine army. Caesar speaks calmly, his voice steady yet carrying undeniable authority. All 12 radiant knights are dead. Every last one of the millions of divine soldiers is gone. The border crisis is over. Satan's pupils contract sharply, disbelief written across his face. Then he breaks into a hearty laugh of relief, his voice brimming with pride and emotion. Yes, 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 worthy of being my son, worthy of the primeval bloodline. Elaine, can you see this? Our son has done it. Caesar walks up to him slowly, the chill in his eyes fading somewhat, yet still tinged with something complicated. Now it is time to settle the score between us. Yesterday you crushed every bone in my body. For 200 years you let me suffer in silence. How do you intend to repay that debt? At those words, the smile vanishes from Satan's face. He opens his arms wide and faces Caesar squarely, his eyes full of unconcealed guilt. I failed as a father. I was too weak. That was the only way I could protect you, and it cost you 200 years of suffering. However you wish to punish me, I will accept it. In truth, from the moment you awakened the primeval bloodline, this throne of the great demon king should have been yours. Caesar looks at him and falls silent for a moment. He can feel the guilt and anguish in his father's heart. For 200 years, Satan watched his own son be humiliated by others, unable to step in, and even forced to hurt him with his own hands. That kind of pain is more than most could bear. Caesar raises his hand and sends out a pulse of demonic energy, yet it does not harm Satan in the slightest. It simply disperses every trace of the demon king's pressure from his body. Killing you would be letting you off too easy, Caesar says flatly. From today, you step down. The throne of the great demon king is mine. You will stay in the Demon King Palace and reflect on your 200 years of so-called protection. When you have truly come to terms with it, you may serve as my second in command and march with me against the divine realm. Satan pauses for a moment, then bursts into hearty laughter. He steps down from the throne and bows deeply, his voice solemn beyond measure. Satan welcomes the new great demon king. Caesar turns his head toward the entrance of the great hall, where his brothers and sisters stand in a cluster, and beside them, Darian lies collapsed on the ground, both legs shattered, carried in by others. Apart from the immobile Darian, every one of them is trembling from head to toe at the sight of Caesar. They drop to their knees one after another, kowtowing frantically until their foreheads bleed. Great Demon King, spare us. We were wrong. We will never do it again. Please show mercy and forgive us just this once. We will serve you faithfully, hand and foot, for the rest of our lives. Darian lies flat on the ground, toothless, only able to produce muffled whimpers. He stares at Caesar in sheer terror, unable to form a single coherent plea for mercy. His entire body trembles uncontrollably. Caesar walks up to them slowly, his gaze ice cold, his voice devoid of any warmth. Back then, manipulated by the divine race, you bullied me, humiliated me, beat me, cursed me, and tried to kill me time and again. Did any of you ever think of showing me mercy? Caesar raises his hand and sends a precise thread of demonic energy into Darian's body, instantly shredding every last demonic meridian he has left, reducing him to something less than even the lowest mortal in the demon realm. Darian lets out a wretched broken wail, the last glimmer of hope in his eyes dies, replaced by absolute despair. In the house of the Demon King, the weak are prey to the strong. You lost. Now you face the ultimate consequence. As the words leave his mouth, Caesar focuses his fingertip once more. A bolt of demonic energy pierces straight through Darian's heart meridian. No drawn-out torment, no hesitation. One moment Darian is convulsing in despair, the next, all signs of life vanish. He is dead. The remaining siblings are scared out of their minds. Caesar raises his hand and sends out pulse after pulse of demonic energy, destroying every last demonic meridian in each of them. Leaving you alive is the greatest mercy I will ever show you. From today, you are banished from the Demon King Palace. You are never to set foot in the royal city again. Ding! Host has successfully settled accounts with all core enemies. Full vengeance settlement complete. Reward: the title of Great Demon King. Reward: full control of the Demon King Palace. Caesar turns and walks to the main throne, lowering himself into it. The cold Demon King's throne carries a weight of ancient authority. He sits upon it, looking down at the masses kneeling before him, eyes cold as steel. His voice carries through the entire great hall, through every corridor of the Demon King Palace. From this day forward, I am the new Great Demon King of the Demon Realm. Those who follow me shall prosper. Those who defy me shall perish. The entire great hall erupts with a thunderous chorus of worship. The sound penetrates the walls of the hall, spreading across the entire royal city, across the entire demon realm. Hail the Great Demon King! Long live the Great Demon King! Long live his reign forever! The Great Demon King is supreme! Glory to the demon race! Just then, the system's voice rings out once more. Ding! Congratulations, host! You are now the new Great Demon King of the Demon Realm. Ultimate main quest triggered. Unify the divine and demon realms. Objective: destroy the Cathedral of Radiance, slay the pontiff of the divine race, and unite the divine realm and the demon realm. Reward: break through to peak divine ancestor realm, unlock Mother's complete spirit essence seal, and restore her divine body. Caesar slowly raises his head and looks toward the divine realm, an unwavering unwavering light burns in his eyes. "Mother, wait for me. I will destroy the Cathedral of Radiance, slay the pontiff, and avenge you, and I will bring you back to my side." From the bloodline awakening to the coronation ceremony, a full 6 months passed, and Caesar did not rush to march on the divine realm. He knew well that the pontiff had ruled the divine race for over 10,000 years. Her foundations ran deep, and she would not be easy to defeat. To destroy the Cathedral of Radiance in a single strike, every preparation had to be flawless, with no room for error. In those 6 months, Caesar accomplished 4 things that fully consolidated his rule over the demon realm and laid the groundwork for the campaign against the divine realm. First, purging internal threats and rooting out divine spies. Using the Eye of Revelation in tandem with the system, he led the Grand Elder's enforcement squads in a sweeping purge across the entire demon realm. Over 200 years, the pontiff had planted countless spies in the demon realm, from the head steward of the Demon King Palace to minor officials in every city and even demon generals within the army. Divine agents lurked at every level. Caesar spent an entire month uprooting the entire divine spy network across the demon realm. In total, over 37,000 divine agents were executed, completely eliminating the internal threat. Not a single piece of intelligence could reach the Cathedral of Radiance anymore. At the same time, Caesar used the purge to seize full control of every city in the demon realm. He abolished the hereditary succession system for city lords, replacing it with a merit-based system, winning the hearts of the people across the entire realm, and making his rule unshakable. Second, overhauling the military and forging an elite legion. Caesar took command of every army in the demon realm. He abolished the old hereditary military rank system and replaced it with pure merit. Any soldier with the ability, even the lowest-ranking demon footman, could rise to become a general. He then handpicked 1 million of the most elite demon soldiers from the tens of millions in the realm. Using his primeval demonic energy combined with the primeval demon lord's body refinement technique, he personally refined their bodies, enabling them to wield both demonic energy and divine power. This created a one-of-a-kind divine demon legion. Every single soldier in this legion possesses cultivation at or above the demon general rank. The legion's 8 commanders are all Demon King level powerhouses. They are the sharpest blade in Caesar's hand, the core force that will bring about the divine race's destruction. Beyond this, Caesar also had Satan and the Grand Elder allocate enough provisions, demon cores, weapons, and battle armor to sustain 10 years of war, setting the entire demon realm's war machine into full motion. Third, uncovering the contingencies his mother left behind and reclaiming her hidden network. Following the information Elaine had embedded in the core origin seal, Caesar located the vault she had hidden deep within the demon sealed domain long ago. Inside the vault lay countless divine crystals, demon cores, ancient divine artifacts, and cultivation techniques. There was also every piece of intelligence Elaine had gathered on the Cathedral of Radiance, including the pontiff's weaknesses, the cathedral's ceiling arrays, and the method to break the celestial eye formation. More importantly, he found resonance crystals Elaine had left behind, and through them, he made contact with her former loyalists, agents who had been hiding in the divine realm ever since. They were all members of the Holy Maiden faction who had sympathized with Elaine. After Elaine's death, they had been suppressed by the pontiff, hiding in the shadows of the divine realm, quietly building strength, waiting for the day they could avenge her. They provided Caesar with the latest defense maps of the divine realm, intelligence on the cathedral's interior, and real-time updates on the pontiff's every move. They even promised that when he marched on the divine realm, they would support him from the inside, coordinating a pincer attack to breach the Cathedral of Radiance in one decisive blow. Fourth, solidifying his cultivation and mastering the primeval demon lord's legacy. Over those 6 months, apart from managing the demon realm's affairs, Caesar devoted every remaining moment to cultivation, consolidating his half-step divine sovereign cultivation and fully mastering the primeval demon lord's complete legacy. He internalized every technique, combat art, ceiling array, and formation from the legacy until they were second nature. His power grew steadily. Even without any temporary amplification, he could comfortably overpower any half-step divine sovereign. At the same time, he achieved total mastery over the power of divine demon unity, perfectly merging demonic energy and divine power with no risk of backlash. This power is the pontiff's greatest nemesis, and Caesar's ultimate trump card for killing her. 6 months later, in the great plaza before the Demon King Palace, Caesar holds a grand coronation ceremony, officially crowning himself the sole great demon king of the demon realm, and heir to the primeval bloodline. Every city lord, general, and tribal chieftain across the demon realm comes to pay homage. The plaza is packed to bursting, stretching beyond what the eye can see. The moment the coronation concludes, Caesar rises to his feet. Black gold demonic energy erupts skyward from his body. His voice reaches every corner of the demon realm, heard clearly by every demon. Send the order, rally every demon army, march with me, crush the divine realm, destroy the Cathedral of Radiance, slay the pontiff and avenge my mother, unite the divine and demon realms. With that single command, the entire demon realm ignites. Tens of millions of demon soldiers converge from every direction, a black flood filling the entire royal city. Abyssal dark dragons roar across the sky. Netherbone war chariots thunder across the earth. Killing intent surges to the heavens, blotting out the sky. Caesar stands atop the lead Netherbone war chariot, gripping the Shaman Bane blade clad in his black Demon King robes. Behind him stands Satan, the Grand Elder, the 4 demon marshals, and 1 million soldiers of the Divine Demon Legion. His gaze locks onto the Divine Realm, a cold smile on his lips. The Divine Race's day of reckoning has come. Move out! At his command, tens of millions of demon soldiers surge forward like a black tidal wave, charging toward the border between realms. The earth shakes, and mountains tremble wherever the army passes. Demonic energy floods the skies, and the entire demon realm trembles. In just 3 days, the army reaches the border between the divine and demon realms. A colossal golden barrier blocks their path. This barrier is the celestial eye formation laid down by the Divine Race, hailed as the Divine Realm's greatest defensive formation, one that not even a divine sovereign can break by force. The formation spans the entire border, virtually indestructible, the Divine Race's ultimate shield against demon invasion. The 4 demon marshals step forward and channel every ounce of their demonic power, launching devastating strikes at the barrier. But their attacks land on the barrier, like stones sinking into the ocean, not even a ripple. Instead, golden holy light rebounds from the barrier and sends them staggering backward, coughing up blood. Caesar steps down from the Netherbone war chariot slowly, gazes at the golden barrier before him, and activates the Eye of Revelation. Ding! Celestial Eye formation detected. 9 formation nexuses identified, each guarded by a divine elder. Every elder possesses half-step divine sovereign cultivation. The nexuses are linked. If one falls, the remaining 8 immediately activate maximum defense and send the highest alert to the Cathedral of Radiance. Complete method of breaking the formation has been synced to the host's mind. A cold smirk crosses Caesar's lips. His mother left him the method to break the celestial eye formation long ago. The pontiff thinks this barrier can stop him. She is utterly delusional. Caesar immediately orders the 4 demon marshals to split the army into 9 divisions and launch feint attacks on each of the 9 formation nexuses, drawing the attention of all 9 divine elders. Meanwhile, Caesar cloaks himself with demonic energy stealth and activates Void Step. At the same time, he releases the Holy Maiden's origin aura that his mother left behind, disguising himself perfectly as a divine messenger, and vanishes from the spot in an instant. The first formation nexus sits atop a mountain peak along the border. Guarding it is the Grand Elder of the Divine Race, the pontiff's most trusted confidant. He sits at the center of the nexus, channeling divine power to sustain the formation, his attention entirely captured by the demon forces launching their feint below. He does not sense Caesar's arrival at all. Caesar first uses his mother's holy light aura to disable the nexus's warning seals, cutting off his ability to alert the other nexuses. Then he appears directly behind the elder and strikes with a single palm. Primeval demonic energy erupts instantly, blasting his body apart and destroying even his spirit essence. Ding Host has successfully slain the Grand Elder of the Divine Race. First formation nexus destroyed. Reward, divine power mastery increased by 10%. Caesar vanishes again in a flash, heading for the second nexus using the same method. At the same time, Elaine's loyalists hidden in the divine realm move in the shadows, sabotaging the celestial eye formation's energy supply and weakening the formation's power by 30%. 3 hours later, all 9 divine elders have been slain by Caesar's hand. All 9 formation nexuses are destroyed. The formation once hailed as indestructible, the celestial eye formation that stood unbreached for 10,000 years, shatters in an instant, dissolving into a sky full of golden sparks that scatter and fade between heaven and earth. The earth-shaking boom can be heard across the entire border. The demon army erupts in a frenzy. A thunderous roar shakes heaven and earth. The great demon king is supreme. The great demon king is invincible. Crush the divine realm. Slay the pontiff. Caesar returns to the Netherbone war chariot, raises his hand, and his voice carries across the entire army. All forces, advance. Crush the divine realm. Target the sacred mountain and the Cathedral of Radiance. Tens of millions of demon soldiers pour into the divine realm like a black tidal wave. The divine realm's landscape is bathed in pristine holy light, dotted with prosperous cities on every side. Beneath the iron march of the demon army, these cities crumble without resistance. Every divine city in their path falls instantly. Those who resist are cut down. Those who surrender are taken prisoner. Elaine's loyalists launch uprisings across the divine realm, supporting the advancing demon forces. Countless divine factions long oppressed by the pontiff choose to surrender and join Caesar's side. In just 3 days, they have breached 99 divine cities and arrived at the foot of the sacred mountain, where the Cathedral of Radiance stands. The sacred mountain is the heart of the entire divine realm, the seat of the Cathedral of Radiance, and the pontiff's stronghold. At the mountain summit, the pontiff waits with every remaining divine soldier at her command. She wears golden pontiff robes, holds the pontiff's scepter, wears the crown upon her head, and radiates the pressure of a half-step divine sovereign. Behind her stand millions of remaining divine soldiers and countless divine powerhouses, packed so densely they fill the entire mountaintop. The entire sacred mountain is shrouded in golden holy light, layered with countless sealing arrays and killing formations, an impenetrable fortress. Seeing them approach, the pontiff speaks coldly, her voice booming like a great bell across the entire battlefield. Demon filth, you dare trespass into the divine realm and slaughter my people. Today I will purify every last one of you and obliterate your spirit essences so you may never be reborn. Caesar steps down from the Netherbone war chariot slowly, looks up at the pontiff on the summit, his gaze ice cold, his voice laced with endless menace. So you are the pontiff of the Cathedral of Radiance? The pontiff nods, her face full of arrogance, looking down at him as though she were a god. Indeed I am. Caesar lets out a cold laugh, his voice ringing across the entire sacred mountain. Good. Years ago you drove my mother Elaine to her death. You forced her to sacrifice her spirit essence and planted the radiant curse on me. Because of you, I suffered for 200 years. This blood debt, today we settle it once and for all. The pontiff falters for a moment, then a savage grin spreads across her face. So you are that traitor's spawn. My failure to root you out back then was my greatest mistake, but today you have walked right to my door. Do not expect to leave alive. If I could kill that traitor then, I can kill her spawn today. As she speaks, she raises the pontiff's scepter and channels every ounce of divine power in her body. The sky is instantly cloaked in golden holy light. Countless spectral angel figures materialize, carrying divine pressure as they descend upon the demon army. Every sealing array and killing formation on the sacred mountain activates at once. Countless golden blades of holy light rain down upon them like a storm. Caesar's gaze turns cold. He raises his hand and sweeps it forward. Behind him, 1 million soldiers of the divine demon legion strike in unison. Their dual divine demonic power converges, forming a massive barrier that blocks every last holy light attack. At the same time, Caesar unleashes infernal skyblaze. Boundless black primeval demon flames sweep outward in an instant, crashing head-on into the golden holy light. The spectral angels are devoured by the flames. Countless holy light blades are annihilated. The divine soldiers at the front lines are once again burned to ash, their screams tearing across heaven and earth. The pontiff's expression changes sharply. She never imagined Caesar could wield such power, easily shattering her assault. She knows today is a fight to the death. There is no retreat. She lets out a furious roar and ignites her own divine core, along with the entire Cathedral of Radiance's power of devotion accumulated over 10,000 years. Her aura skyrockets wildly, surging from half-step divine sovereign straight to peak divine sovereign, with faint signs of breaking into the divine ancestor realm. The entire sacred mountain shudders violently under her pressure. Every trace of holy light between heaven and earth rushes toward her, gripping the pontiff's scepter with world-ending force. She brings it crashing down at Caesar, shrieking, "Die, boy! Even if I burn everything I have, I will destroy you today." Ding! Peak divine sovereign level threat detected. Divine demon unity perfected, passive triggered. Divine and demonic powers fully merged. Primeval demon lord legacy fully activated. Cultivation temporarily breaks through to early stage divine ancestor realm. A surge of power unlike anything before. The power to command the very laws of heaven and earth floods Caesar's entire body in an instant. In this moment, he becomes the sovereign of this world. Every law between heaven and earth bends to his will. He raises his hand and catches the pontiff's scepter in his bare palm. Endless holy light from the scepter pounds against his body, yet he is completely unscathed. Not even the hem of his robe stirs. The pontiff's face is frozen in disbelief, her eyes nearly bulging from their sockets. She shrieks hysterically, "Impossible! How can you take my full power strike? You are only 200 years old. How can you have reached the divine ancestor realm? This cannot be." A cold smirk crosses Caesar's lips. He tightens his grip ever so slightly. Crack! The pontiff's scepter, her companion for over 10,000 years, crumbles to pieces in his hand. Then he throws a single punch, driving it straight into the pontiff's chest. Boom! Her body is blown apart by that single blow. Even her burning divine core is crushed in his grip. The pontiff's spirit essence tries to flee, desperate to hide in the resting place of the god of origins and cling to a last shred of existence. But Caesar gives her no such chance. A casual flick of primeval demon flame burns her spirit essence to ash, without even a chance of reincarnation. The one who wrought evil for 10,000 years and orchestrated his mother's death is finally and utterly destroyed. Ding Host has successfully slain the pontiff of the divine race. Ultimate quest complete. Unify the divine and demon realms. Reward: break through to peak divine ancestor realm. Reward: mother's complete spirit essence seal unlocked. Reward: full mastery over the laws of heaven and earth. The instant the pontiff dies, the entire Cathedral of Radiance collapses with a thunderous roar. Countless remaining divine soldiers lay down their weapons, drop to their knees, and surrender. Caesar stands at the summit of the sacred mountain, looking down at the surrendered divine race below and the cheering demon army behind him. Divine and demonic power swirls around his body, black gold radiance blanketing all of heaven and earth. In this moment, he becomes the sole sovereign of both the divine and demon realms. Just then, a gentle white light slowly gathers before him. Within the light, the figure of a beautiful woman takes shape. She wears a white holy maiden's gown. Her face is gentle and breathtakingly beautiful, her eyes and brows bearing a faint resemblance to Caesar's, filled with tenderness and pride. It is his mother, Elaine. Her sealed spirit essence has been fully unlocked. Drawing on the divine demonic power within Caesar, her divine body has been restored, and she has finally awakened once more. She looks at him, tears glistening in her eyes, her voice soft and full of endless tenderness. "Caesar, my child, you did it." Caesar looks at his mother, his eyes instantly welling up. He strides forward and wraps her in a tight embrace, his voice slightly hoarse. "Mother, I have finally avenged you." Elaine gently pats his back, smiling tenderly as tears roll down her cheeks. "I know, I always knew, my child would become the greatest of them all." Not far away, Satan watches the mother and son embrace, his own eyes reddening. He walks over slowly and bows deeply to Elaine, his voice heavy with guilt and love. "Elaine, I am sorry. I failed to protect you. I let you suffer so much. Elaine looks at him, smiles gently, and shakes her head. Do not blame yourself. Everything we did for our child. Just then, the system's voice echoes in Caesar's mind once more. Ding! Congratulations, host. All main quests complete. Bloodline guidance mission fulfilled. System officially upgraded to the Myriad Realms Sovereign System. Myriad Realms teleportation access unlocked. Host, do you wish to begin a new journey? Caesar raises his head and gazes into the endless starry sky. Looking toward the Myriad Realms, a confident smile forming on his lips. 10,000 years ago, the primeval demon lord and the god of origins fought to protect this world, and were left devastated alongside the Void Abyss forces in a mutual blow. Now, the Void Abyss forces are about to descend once more, and every realm across the Myriad Realms will face crisis. Caesar's conquest was never limited to just the divine and demon realms. He grips his mother's hand, looks back at Satan, the Grand Elder, and the countless subjects who now kneel before him, and speaks with unwavering resolve, his voice ringing across all of heaven and earth. Myriad Realms, here I come.